5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, good night, goodbye, hello, whatever one of those hello will apply to you wherever you are in the world. And we are going halfway around the world today. We're going over to, I'm guessing, sunny America, which I'd love to be in now because it's wet and white England here with the snow falling. Snow on the south coast. What the hell is going on? Kyle, hi Kyle, how are you? Welcome along. Thank you for joining us. Early kickoff tomorrow. Yeah, we're playing a small matter of playing Chelsea. We laughed when they got Enzo. We said, you know what, that sort of play won't really do very well in the Premier League. Enzo doesn't really know what he's doing. Trying to cover up the fact that, you know, we hated them, even though it probably saved us financially. But look, who's laughing now? That is the question. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Welcome along on YouTube, and you are watching the preview show of Leicester City versus Chelsea. And we say a very good evening. Forgive me if I get this wrong. Conchilla. No, I can't hear you.
I said big up, Chris. Sorry, I was on mute. Apologies. I'm making. Is it my debut here, or have I been here before?
You have been here before, yes.
Well, not my debut. Okay.
Yes. No. You've been here. You're a sucker for punishment, and you've come back again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was saying big up to you. You did say my name correctly. It's pronounced Coachella, just like coach, but the ILA makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, it's a brilliant name, But thank you very much for joining us. Your link
and thank you. It's an honor, Chris. It's an honor.
The Chelsea Perspective obviously is your site, and there is a link to that in the description below, so people can go over there and follow you. Although
thank you.
We're not looking forward to this weekend, but I've got to say, look, you took him off us in the summer. Yeah, such is life. What do you think of your new manager?
I like him. Here's the thing. When we were on the verge of getting the deal of him joining us over the line, Chelsea fans were concerned, going by what Leicester City fans told them, that that what worked for him in the Championship may not work for him in the Premier League. I wasn't too concerned. First of all, I told Chelsea fans, listen, for him to have worked under Pep Guardiola, he must have, you could say, brought to the table something tangible that Pep appreciates. And rumors are the season that Man City won 4 trophies, that he was very instrumental to that run from that year. And it turns out, actually, we were hearing a lot from Chelsea fans saying possession, and all that. It turns out he is not stubborn. He's not the sort of manager that's bent on approaching the game you can say with one particular approach and doesn't change. It turns out he's smart enough. He knows the Premier League isn't the same as the Championship in terms of quality. So he tweaks things around. He always you can say, you see us approaching games with what you could call good balance. We're not too much focused on attacking. We're not too much focused on defending, although that wasn't the case the first 2, 3, 4, 5 games we were scoring a lot of goals, but we were conceding a lot of goals too. So here's how I learned that he's a very smart manager. And then he looked at it and went like, okay, yeah, we score a lot of goals, but we concede a lot. And the truth remains, you cannot outscore every team. Just like was the case how we went under Frank Lampard. We score a lot, concede a lot. And there are certain teams, if they score a single goal first, they win in that game. So he started making defensive changes by playing 2 traditional sixes. And you can see, yes, we haven't scored a lot of late, but we haven't conceded a lot either. So I love him. And I know we will finish top 4 because he's an intelligent manager and also a good man manager, in my opinion.
I think, obviously, we had him for the one season. He was completely left field. No idea did we ever think we were going to get him. We never even heard of him, if I'm honest with you. But obviously, coming from Manchester City, who had just won the Champions League, we're like, wow, it's probably what we needed as a club, having just got relegated. I think from Leicester fans' perspective, we looked at what he could do and what with our team, but of course he's got a completely different team at Chelsea. At Leicester, I don't think that style of football that he plays would have worked. But at Chelsea, let's be honest with you, all rivalry aside, you've got a lot better standard of player than we have at Leicester on the whole.
And the highlight of that, if you don't mind, Chris, what highlights that he has a lot better players at Chelsea is the fact that Drewsbury Hall is finding it difficult to get into the team.
Yes, yeah.
But he was, you could say, wasn't he a regular for him? Or maybe not every game. It depends on the structure. But go ahead. I apologize for cutting you off.
No. It's a good point, and it leads me on in a second to KDH. We might as well talk about him. But no, for us, I mean, he was limited. He stuck with it. He had a game plan, and he stuck with that game plan. When we were 17 points ahead, and we were all very happy, and then we started losing games and drawing games that we would have probably won in the first half of the season. And we ended up not winning the league by 17 points, but winning it by 1 point. So we could very nearly have sort of lost out on the being champions. And that came across as being very stubborn. But then again, there's a very thin line between being stubborn and sticking to what what you know is going to work. And I think with Chelsea as well, he's got more options at Chelsea. Look, all joking aside, you've got a hell of a lot of players there, a bigger squad than we've got at Leicester. He's got more options.
Yeah, more option, more quality. But that's not, you can say, let's not underestimate how well he did at Leicester City, because Leicester, before he joined, lost a few quality players.
Yes.
Ashley Madison. What's the other guy that plays for Newcastle United? Yes, Ashley Barnes. So we must not take that for granted. I think I've heard Chelsea fans say, why are we hiring a manager that nearly blew it at Leicester City? The truth remains, he didn't blow it. He won it eventually. And he did what he had to do earlier on in the season to garner 17 points gap.
Yes.
It wasn't given to him. Leicester City earned it. So it doesn't make sense to argue that he nearly blew it. Heston, I like him, and I can't say that enough. I did my research, and I know Pep well enough to know that if he wasn't that good, he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to work under Pep Guardiola, in my opinion.
I did actually ask on my show last night, what sort of reception would he get? And I think, look, when he first left, I think it was the speed at that he left. Like he'd literally got us up, and he couldn't wait to ditch us and go to Chelsea. Mm-hmm. But when you take your club tinted glasses off and you look at it, you go, well, actually, do you know what? It's like the rest of us. A better job offer came along, and he went for it. And there's the jokes about how many managers do Chelsea get through, etc., etc. But if he had said no at that point, and then with the possible points deduction that we're going to get relegated, his stock wouldn't have been as high, and then probably Chelsea wouldn't come back. So it's like with Graham Potter, I think managers have to take these opportunities when they come along.
If they're brave enough. If they're brave enough. Because, he could have stayed remained at Man City. But what you could say, he has a strong belief in himself. He knew he was going to help Leicester City make it back to the Premier League. He took the job. He is fearless. If you give him what he wants, if you back him, I think he will do a good job. And I think Chelsea, signs are that he has a lot of say in terms of players we sign. And he has the power to deem certain players surplus to requirement, and that's it. Once he says, you're not part of my team, I'm sorry, I respect you, or something to that effect, but sorry, there's no space for you here. That's it. And he's done well, in my opinion. He's done well.
Look, like I say, I hope he gets a decent welcome, because what he did, what he was brought in to do, which was to get us promoted. So, like I say, when you take off those blue tinted glasses for Leicester, you accept that, to be honest with you couldn't really turn it down. Ben asks here, it's a fair question, will you let us have KDH back? I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of
that's a good one. Go ahead, Chris.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories here, because look, we needed £40 million to get out of the PSR shit, if you like. You paid us 10 million for Enzo. You paid us 30 million for Kieran Dewsbury Hall, which happened to add up to the 40 million we needed. And that which was that was one of those things like, oh, we need 40, here's 40, and that you were always going to loan him back to us in January. I mean, he hasn't fitted in, and we sort of said it when he left, like, well, he'll only bench warm at Chelsea. Because of the quality of players you got there. Maybe he thought with Enzo being there that he might get more game time, but he's hardly started for you, hasn't he? It does look like he's going out on loan in January.
Yeah, here's the thing. I've heard a lot of theories about KDH. I think he's an excellent player. A few things to bear in mind. KDH, he's Conor Gallagher's replacement.
Yeah,
that's one point. And something else to bear in mind, he's more technically gifted than Conor Gallagher, but he has the industry, the energy of Conor Gallagher. He does a lot defensively if the manager charges him to do that. That's one. Two, I don't think Chelsea would have signed the check if Enzo Maresca didn't say, yes, I want him. Okay. Yeah. That's simply the truth. Because Maresca, he doesn't beat about the bush. He would do a good job, but you can actually turn him off. He gets angry easily, and once he's annoyed with you, the next you'd see him leave, just like he did in Italy. So now, three, something else to consider. He was injured before he joined us. He wasn't ready. Didn't play much during the preseason. So you could argue until mid-season, we're not quite mid-season yet.
No.
Until mid-season, he's still in his own preseason. There's an excellent player there. He's an intelligent player. He reads the game very well from an offensive perspective. If you make the run, if he has the space, he will find you. And if he decides to mark you in terms of tracking back, he does that excellently well. So a few things I've mentioned: a good replacement for, you could say, a more gifted replacement for Conor Gallagher. Two, the manager wants him. That's the reason why he joined us. Three, he didn't have full preseason with us, was just there for the sake of being with his teammates. I think, and remember I'm saying this, I think KDH will eventually become Enzo Maresca, one of Enzo Maresca's most important player. And I'm serious about that. Because I know him. You know, I used to watch Leicester City games because of Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi. Both of them are from my birth country.
Yes.
Yeah, my adopted country. I don't know if any American plays for Leicester City. Maybe I don't know. So my point is, I'm not concerned. I'm sorry, Ben Cos, you guys are not getting him back because we know there's no way we'd pay that much money if we didn't trust him.
No, but do you think, like you say, if he's coming back from injury,
Yeah.
Would you say not sell him? I don't, and I mean, Ben's obviously got his tongue firmly planted in his cheek there with the for free. But do you think you could see him going out on loan for the half a season?
No.
No.
Yeah, even let me see from another perspective. Letting him go out on loan will look bad on the owners.
Mm.
And I've been following a pattern here. If they spend money on you, they want the manager to make it work. Mihailo Mudryk could have gone out on loan.
Yeah.
Noni Madueke could have gone out on loan. So they before they sign any player, the directors and the scouting department, they do their research, ensuring there's a talent in that player. So once we sign you, I think they're willing to give him time, especially with Enzo Maresca here. I think he will get his time, and he will end up being the club's Enzo Maresca's the club's most important signing. Maybe second half of the season, but I'm not giving up on him because I know that's a talent there.
Yes, yeah. And with Ben Chilwell, look, I know Ben said that there. I don't think there's any way Ben Chilwell will come back because he's kind of burnt his bridges with Leicester fans. But what's happened? I mean, he's not even in the squad for the Premier League, is he?
It's a matter of understanding Enzo Maresca's approach. But in Ben Chilwell's case, just like the case of this is like a case of KDH, there are a few points to look at. One, does he fit Enzo Maresca's approach?
Yeah.
That's a no. Even us, there are Chelsea fans, after some people did their research and realized, yeah, even before he started work, we started debating, that's it for Ben Chilwell. If he was a traditional wing-back approach, Ben Chilwell will do well. He will be one of the starters. He will get you goals. He will get you assists. But in terms of the inverted fullback role, he doesn't have it in him. I actually did a YouTube short where, because I like him as a player, but I don't want to be sentimental for the sake of me liking him as a footballer and say the manager should give him opportunities when he doesn't, in fact, fit the manager's approach. Look why. Here's how I realized that Cucurella will probably get to play more than him, even before the arrival of Enzo Maresca, because Cucurella, he has that ability to find passing lanes where you don't know one exists. But if it is Ben Chilwell, once you have a single or two players on him, he goes backwards or sideways. That was when I knew he's in trouble. That's one. Two, his salary is a huge problem.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Because the landscape of football has changed from a financial perspective. If you have 10, 20, 400 billion pounds, that doesn't mean you spend 400 billion pounds and not get into trouble. So now the owners are looking to reduce our wage bill, and he is on a lot of money, and he's become a problem actually to Chelsea. And it's not given his age and the fact that he may not get the chance to represent England again. It's all about earning the money these days. So those are factors to look at. But who's going to buy him and be willing to give him a pay raise or maybe pay anything close to that? I don't see that, Chris.
Has he got a long contract? I mean, obviously, a lot of Chelsea players do have very long
when his contract expires. Let me check.
Because obviously, he could just sit there, couldn't he, and earn a very nice, weekly wage.
Yeah. Ben Chilwell, Chelsea contract. Let me check for you. It's an unfortunate situation for him. It's not that he's a bad player.
No,
his contract expires. This doesn't say 2026.
Oh, right. So he's not got long
next
to
year.
go
He'd have just about a year left on his current contract.
Yeah. Look, the table's there. You're sat in third. It's very nice. 19 points. You're already, though, 9 points behind Liverpool. Are you not considering the Premier League title this year? Is it just a case of stabilising yourself after like we say, you've had a few changes of manager. Is it a case of just stabilising yourself, getting into the Champions League this season, and then maybe next season pushing on for the title?
Chris, I have to say this. I like the sort of questions you're asking. It looks like I'm going to be coming to your channel even more.
Thank you.
Here's the thing. We are third, right? Mathematically, we're in the title race. There's no denying that.
Yeah.
You get the point. Mathematically, no denying that we're in the title race. But in terms of where we are with regards to our projects, and how consistent this team has proven they can be, I would say no. From that perspective, we're not in the title race. And if you pay attention, we're third, we'll have 19 points. The fourth place, Arsenal, has 19 points. Fifth place, Nottingham Forest has 19 points. Brighton, sixth place, has 19 points. And the rest from seventh to, I think, ninth has 18 points. That's 1 point gap. So if we lose a game and any of them win a game, they will be above us. So the goal difference is just what's helping us there. So you could look at that and say, not quite. You could say that all those, mathematically, all those people from, you could say from fifth to around ninth are still in the title race, mathematically.
Yeah.
It's not obvious. Yeah. So in all honesty, my point is where we are at the table, we're in the title race. But from the perspective of our project, where we are in our project, I'd say no, we're not. Until proven otherwise, but never say never.
No, never say never. I just think the way that Liverpool are performing, will they drop that many points? That's the question. Look, I did this for Chelsea, tongue in cheek, because I know where this is going. I always ask the opposition sort of, who is your danger man? I mean, you've got probably a few to change from, but it's got to be Cole Palmer, hasn't it?
Cole Palmer, definitely. We've seen the pattern has emerged that if you're able to stop Cole Palmer, we hardly win games. That's where the problem is. But that issue can be reduced by allowing Enzo Fernandez to start. Because my observation is that in those games that Enzo Fernandez didn't play, where we see the pairing of Romeo Lavia and Moises Caicedo, we were solid, defensive solidly, but we weren't efficient, again, offensively. Because Cole Palmer now has to drop deep to come get the ball and doesn't stay close to the final third majority like he usually does in those games that he's done well. So it's up to the manager. Hopefully he've learned that, while Caicedo and Lavia provide good defensive shield and ensures that we're defensively solid, we lack offensively when Enzo Fernandez isn't on the pitch. So Cole Palmer, for me, that's a danger man because the pattern is there. When you mark him out, we struggle to win games.
Can I just say, I'm happy for you not to let KDH go in January, but could you lend us Cole Palmer for 6 months? I'm dreaming. I know I'm dreaming. Look, tactics formation now. Interestingly, earlier on, you said, I know you may have to go soon, so please let me know.
I'll postpone my show by 30 minutes. Let me just humor you for a bit.
Oh, that is very decent of you. Thank you very much. You said earlier, and it quite surprised me, about Enzo being quite willing to change. We never saw that at Leicester. He very much stuck to his guns. It cost us that 16-point lead, but he got us over the line. Now, I'm looking at some of your results here. I mean, you go in the league, you host Newcastle, you beat them 2-1. You then go in the Carabao Cup, you lose to them. And then you play what, let's be honest with you, is a pretty poor Manchester United side, and you can only just manage a draw, which I was a bit annoyed about because I had you down to beat them in the prediction league. Is there inconsistency in your results this season?
There is inconsistency, yes. Why? Down to the squad, not the manager. Yeah, down to the lack of consistency is down to the inexperience in our squad. We have one of the youngest, if not the youngest squad in the Premier League, where you have, you can say, when you have kids in your squad, it's difficult not to it's usually difficult to get them to respect every opponent.
Yes.
Experienced players know that in football, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2 in football. But kids can go into a game with the mindset that, yeah, it's Manchester United. They're in the bottom table. We've beaten them. The 3 points is ours. So they're not going to put in the work to win that game. And let me explain why I think Enzo Maresca, he knew that was probably going to be an issue. That's at Chelsea we have something called Charity FC, where, for instance, if Arsenal, they've lost 999 games, and their next game, when again trying to win again, will be 1,000 game will be against Chelsea Football Club. Chances are they'd beat Chelsea. That's what we call Charity FC. So probably he realized that that's a huge issue, which was why at Old Trafford he went with a more defensive, slightly defensive approach. Because the truth remains, had we gone into that game with a scattergun approach, chances are Man United they'd beat us by 4-3. Would score goals, but they'd score a lot more against us. That's how big the rivalry, even if they are in second division, the rivalry comes into play. So Maresca is smart enough to know that, he learned from his Leicester City mistakes. You can say that. So inconsistency, not down to him, but down to the players we have. And that's the reason why he's chosen to start the pairing of Romeo Lavia, to always go with the pairing of Romeo Lavia and Moses Caicedo to help shield that inexperienced defensive line and make it difficult to get to. So, inconsistency, not down to him, but the players.
And what do you think his sort of formation is going to be, and his tactics against Leicester? I mean, you must look at this game, and we'll come on to the odds in a minute. But you must look at this game and think 3 points in the bag.
Okay, with Cucurella and Gusto on the pitch, either of the two players will be inverting. So usually the starting structure, when you look at it, you say we're playing with 4-2-3-1. But when the game starts, you can see something like 4-1-4-1. You can see something like 3-4. And you can say the rest are 3-4-7. That's 3 more, 3-4-1-2 or 3-4-2-1, something like that. And Maresca, even at Leicester City, he was very unorthodox. You will rewatch the game, pay attention to the average positioning of the players to say, okay, Chelsea actually did play with 3-4-2-1 today, and so he doesn't. It's difficult to say we're playing with a particular approach. Sometimes, when you pay attention to the average positioning of the players, you see it's 4-3-3, sometimes a 4-2-3-1, which is almost always the starting structure. But if you pay attention to the application of the players, then you find out. So it's difficult to say he's going to approach the game with a certain formation.
Right. I said earlier about, we look at the odds, and obviously, we never recommend gambling, and if you do like a flutter, remember when the fun stops, stop. Look, Chelsea there, 1-2 on to win. Leicester 9-2. The draw's even 7-2. I am really worried, because the one thing that we've managed to hold on to at Leicester, we're sat there in 15th place, is we haven't, up until Man United, we'd scored in every game. Then we conceded that many when we lost. But I can see this sort of being a cricket score. I mean, we're going to come on to score predictions in a second, but you must look at that. Like I say, this is the game you think you're just going to steamroller the opposition.
Do I think we're going to concede in this game? We will concede.
Right.
Yeah, but you guys, you've been conceding a lot. You conceded 3 against Manchester United, drew against Ipswich, but one draw you still conceded. Manchester United beat you guys 5-2. I think that's in the cup game. Probably.
That was, yeah.
I was in the cup game. But you conceded still. Then you lost at home to Nottingham Forest. You conceded 3 there. So your goal concession is pretty much high than Chelsea's goal concession. And we've been scoring a lot more than you guys. We scored 2 there. Okay, you guys, you can say let's say Leicester City have scored 7 goals in their last 5 games, while Chelsea have scored 12 goals in their last 5 matches. Leicester City haven't kept a clean sheet in 5 matches. We haven't kept a clean sheet for a while too. but not like consecutive games.
Yeah.
Wow, we've considered the most penalties Chelsea haven't lost to Leicester City. The history one, I'm not too sure, but in terms of team form, I think we will beat Leicester. I think Chelsea will beat Leicester City, but we will concede. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that surprises me. I mean, you know, our strikers, I've got to be honest with you, Jamie Vardy against Man United was injured. Daka, who can't hit the proverbial
Patson
barn door.
Daka?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we were hoping he was going to be Vardy's replacement, but he can't. Last season, he was awful. And I think it was a confidence thing, to be honest with you, but he couldn't hit a barn door from, 2 foot. It was America, 1 meter. And then after that, we got like Ayew, Dakova Reed, and Edward, which are like the 3 musketeers at 100 years old each. So if Vardy's back, we might get that goal. But I mean, I've gone for a 3-1 Chelsea win. Because I just don't see there's any way. I've got to be realistic. That said, look, Bournemouth beat Manchester City, Bournemouth beat Arsenal. It is a funny league, but I think this is going to be a comfortable win for you. What would your score prediction be?
I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna go with what the numbers tell me. And every time when I do predictions, I'll tell people numbers will give you can say a possible outcome, but not a certainty. Numbers tell me we're gonna concede. Numbers plus your current form, our current form, and the fact that we've not been able to keep clean sheets consistently. It is every now and then that's a break in it. So I'd say 2-1, a good score line, but I'm going to say something else also. If Enzo Fernandez starts, Chelsea will score a lot more than 2. But we will concede a lot more. If Enzo Fernandez starts, the game will be 3-2 Chelsea, around that number. We'll concede more than 1.
But if it doesn't start, tight, do you?
Sorry?
You think it will be that tight?
Yeah, because here's the thing. If Caicedo and Lavia start, we will be more defensively solid, but we're not going to create a lot going forward. You get the point now. Yeah. But if Enzo Fernandez starts, we'll do a lot more offensively, but we'll be vulnerable defensively because, he's a defensive liability.
Yeah. Hi, Scott. Welcome along, by the way. I think the thing is we've both gone here for a Chelsea win, which is not the...
But that's not to say that the outcome cannot be different, Chris. You know that. Football, 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2.
Oh, definitely. And I say certainly not this season when you look at some of the results. I mean, Ipswich last week, 2 weeks ago against Spurs. You just don't know. It's a funny season, but... I don't have any hope. I'm not overly impressed with our manager, and I don't have any faith in us this season. But look, as long as we can finish 17th, that's the thing. We spoke earlier about your sort of thoughts on the Premier League, but overall, your hopes for the season. I mean, you're in Europe, the cups. I mean, last time out, you had a little matter of beating Noah 8-0.
The ship sank.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a good pun for that, and I couldn't. So well done, sir. Well done.
The hopes.
What are your hopes?
Let me let you. Maybe it doesn't look like you're through with the question.
No, sorry, no. You paused and I paused, and we both paused. No, I'm just saying. In Europe, can you go all the way? I know it's the conference, but it's still Europe, isn't it? It's still a trophy.
It's still Europe. I know. Yeah, it's not valued that much, but it's still Europe.
Well, we did. I mean, West Ham won it a couple of seasons ago. We got to the semi-finals of it, only beaten by Jose Mourinho's Roma, who went on to win it. It's still a trophy at the end of the day. If Chelsea, if you didn't win anything else, but you still won the Conference League, would you consider? And let's say you finished let's say you finished 4th, 5th, didn't go anywhere in the FA or the League Cups, but you won the Conference League. would that be a disappointing season, or would that be a good season from where you
No,
started?
no. Two things. If we finish in top four and achieve a Champions League place, it doesn't matter whether we win the Conference League, whatever competition, cup competition that we're still part of. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is Champions League football. I get it. You hear some Chelsea fans saying nonsense about the owners not wanting to win anything. They're just about profit. That's just a BS argument. Why?
Yeah.
Because football is the driven business. If we Chelsea win and become part of the next season's Champions League, then getting a shirt sponsor will be very easy. If you don't do well, you're not going to attract big name sponsors. If you mid-table team, you're not going to make a lot of money. So I think Champions League for me, if we make it into top four, whether we win anything else, I don't care. I get it. We're definitely the favorite to win the Conference League. Can we? It's a possibility. That's the question for the manager and the players to answer. But we're the favorite there. I would take it if we win that one. Like Chelsea fans say, to complete the set. If we win the Conference League, then we'll have Champions League, Europa League, and then this one. Then it completes the set. It doesn't matter whether it's valued or not.
Yes, yeah. So basically, you're saying that you'd if you wouldn't be disappointed if you didn't win the Conference League, but you still ended up in a Champions League.
I will not be. I'd rather the Champions League. That's a lot more money for more revenue for us, easily to get a shirt sponsor and all that. Yeah.
Because what happens? I don't know whether you know this or not, but obviously, if you were to win the Conference League, then you're automatically in the Europa League, aren't you? But what happens if you're in the Europa League, but you finish in a Champions League place? I guess you would go into the Champions League, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we'll forfeit the lesser valued competition, definitely. Then it's up to UEFA to fill it in. You never get to do both. You do only one.
No, of course you don't. No. Right. Really appreciate it. One last question then before I let you go. And I know you've got your show coming up, and thank you very much for putting it on hold. Just basically your thoughts on Leicester. We came up as champions. We always knew it was going to be a struggle. We, like you, we were facing a points deduction, managed to get out of that legally. We didn't break any rules. We did it all legally. But it's going to be a struggle this season. Your thoughts on Leicester?
It's been everywhere. But it's not too late. Let me see. Where are you guys in the table again?
We're 15th at the moment.
Yeah, not bad. 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 1 loss. Not bad, really. I think you guys will get there, but you need to bring in reinforcements. Because you need a bit more quality. I think you will survive. I don't think you'd have an issue, but it's really tight down there.
Yes. Yeah, and I think reinforcements in the form of KDH coming back for 6 months loan.
You can keep praying. Chances are your prayers will be answered.
If it happens, I'm going to come back to you.
Let me say this, Chris. In all honesty, even KDH wouldn't want to go back. He's a confidence chap.
Yeah,
he's very confident, and I don't think we would want to go back.
But do you think he'd not get more confidence? Because if he came back to Leicester, the chances are, as long as he stays fit, that
he'd feel at home,
play regularly, and he's a Leicester lad.
Yeah, and he'd feel at home.
More confidence being at Chelsea, but not playing any games.
No, he's not gonna leave on loan. If he accepts to leave on loan, coming back again and holding down the place for Chelsea, it's gonna be pretty difficult for him. He's better off staying and take the opportunity when it comes.
No, that's a fair point. I'm just checking it. I'm going to ask you about this guy because Enzo, when he was at Leicester, took him on loan. That's Cesare Casadei. He went back last season under Poch, and then played about 2 minutes for the rest of the season. He was just settling into our team. I don't know whether he'd fit in now with it being Steve Cooper, but what's happened to him?
Nothing has happened to him. I did watch one of his interviews with regards to his Chelsea situation or future. I'm not sure what would be the correct word to use there. He said something to the effect of he had the opportunity to live on loan, but he decided to stay, knowing that it's going to be difficult. And I think that's an agreement with the manager. The manager probably maybe encouraged him, if he can stay, that he will get his chance to play, prove that he should be a starter at Chelsea. Because that kid is such a talented player. Because he can fulfill the box-to-box role. He can play as a traditional sixth. He can play the eighth role. But here's the thing. I think no problem there yet. And Chelsea understand that he's a talent. If at the end, if till January, Chelsea sees that, he's not playing as often as he should, and that can be detrimental to his development, that's when he leaves on loan. Maybe Leicester City, who knows? But it all comes down to him. If he's confident in his ability to nail down a place, he stays. After all, the manager is Italian. Who's to say there won't be some sort of bias to find a way to help him kickstart his senior career? But I like him. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I liked him, and I don't think he literally didn't. When he came, he didn't really have many starts, but it was just. And I understand you bringing him back because you loan players out to get game time. But he had just started to get into the team because of injuries, unfortunately, when he was called back. But I know it was a mixed reception off the Leicester fans, but it was a case, I think, of he didn't have that many minutes under his belt to impress us. But I liked him. I've got to be honest with you. Coachella, thank you so very, very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And putting your own show back. I really, really do appreciate that. It is Chelsea Perspective. That's where you can be found, and your link is in the description below on YouTube. Look, I'd wish you all the best for the rest of the season, but not tomorrow. But I don't think you're going to need any luck tomorrow, to be honest.
You never know, Chris. Somebody in the chat said it's going to end 0-0. It's a possibility.
It is. But, mate, thank you so very much, and all the best. And we'll probably speak to you later in the year for the return game.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you all.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. You take care of yourself.
You too, Chris. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. There you go. Kajilla there. All the way from America. That's a song, isn't it? All the way from America. Sorry. You didn't want me singing, did you? Anybody? I am so worried about tomorrow. I think it could be embarrassing. I mean, I have gone for a 3-1 Chelsea win. That is based on the fact that Vardy may be back. If Vardy isn't back, then we do come on to Daka. God help us. I mean, look, I've tried to defend Patson Daka. I think he's a lovely guy. He can certainly run. He was going to be the Vardy replacement, but it hasn't worked out. He didn't have the confidence last season. Maybe Cooper. I mean, Cooper played him a lot pre-season, but then again, Jamie Vardy wasn't fit pre-season. He got injured in the first game, didn't he? So Patson Daka was his go-to choice up front, and that. I mean, we've been linked with players come January. Our striking is our forwards. It scares the shit out of me. Once you get past Jamie Vardy, whatever you love about Patson Daka or hate him, last season he could not score in the proverbial whorehouse. If it was 2 for 1 and a third on for free on a Sunday. So I really am panicking about that. And we know Jamie Vardy, look, he's 37 going on 38. He's going to get a twinge if he just lands oddly somewhere in training. So that really does worry me. Look, I want to let me just bring this in then, because I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Just bear with me, folks. No, that's not going to work. I think that's going to be as good as we're going to get it. We'll do it that way. Unfortunately, I haven't got a layout set for this. And Scott says it will either be a socks up performance where we get a clean sheet and a nil, or it will be an absolute mauling. I don't think they know how to pull the socks up, Scott. I really don't. But look, yeah, I think Steve Cooper should have gone this window. I really do. I think we've missed the opportunity. I think anybody from West Ham, including West Ham downwards, apart from Ipswich, could all be looking at changing managers. If we hold on like we did, with Rodgers, we could, we could miss out everybody again. So I'm really, really, panicking. I'm not going to do the lineup because we did that last year. And of course, not only have we got all the injuries, and we have got a lot of injuries, to be honest with you, but we've also got this guy on the naughty step, Buenete, yellow card. Exactly, Scott, exactly. This has had a Rodgers situation all over again. I think it has. I think we should have got somebody in, given them a couple of weeks. Look, we're going to lose to Chelsea. Pretty 75, 80% we're going to lose to Chelsea. So if you get a new manager in, it would show him what the team are capable of without the pressure on that we would expect to win. But like I say, maybe Chelsea might be his last game, Andreas. But look, if you're going to give somebody the sack, give them the sack. I don't think losing to Chelsea is a sackable offence, because I think we probably would expect to lose to Chelsea. But this guy, love his enthusiasm. I'd love it if we could have bought him rather than loan him, but he's not available. So tomorrow morning, I'm hoping to do a pick a team show. Pick up a team. Put your penguin down and pick up a team. So I'm hoping to do that. I'm just really, we could get a mauling. Could he go? Yes, he could. But Buenete hasn't helped us. But look, there's a very thin line these days with referees. Referees give out a yellow card if you fart at, as you run past them. So, yes, he is banned. But, the worst thing is, and I'm just going to try and get it up here, and that's the injury situation. Just have a look, and let me just bring that up like that. Where does it go about the injuries? Oh, I'm not even saying it. Let's have a look at. We'll go to the website, the injury website, then, and have a look at Leicester. 7 injuries we've got at the moment. So we know Fatu is out for till the end of the season. I mean, it never rains, it pours, doesn't it? Let's be honest with you. 5-4-1 formation for me, with all the 11 in front of the ball. Who knows? Dakova Reed he'll be taking a late fitness test. He's 50% potentially available. Again, it's one of those, isn't it? Has he shown us enough to warrant him starting? But then again, does he deserve to start? I don't know. The jury's out for me on that. Patson Daka is past fit, so Patson Daka is fit. Jamie Vardy is only 75%. He will undergo a late fitness test on his back injury. And we all know that if he can get on that pitch, he will do. Jordan Ayew, 50%. He's going to have a late fitness test on his knee injury. Ricardo is out with his thigh injury. He's got no chance of playing. Stolarczyk, well, he's not been anywhere near the team this season anyway. I don't want to be a harbinger of doom, but I'm going to be doing the watch-along tomorrow from behind the sofa. I will be on at 12 o'clock. There'll be no Brad until full-time because, unfortunately, he's having to work, and the fact that they've come in early with the game kickoff because it's on TNT tomorrow. 12:30 kickoff. I will be here at 12 o'clock. I honestly say I am not looking forward to it. If we could hold them to 3-0, I don't think we can. Maybe that's a bonus. It could be. I mean, I know Luke from Leicester City Down Under. Do go and check him out. He went 9-0 to Chelsea. He might not be that far off. Everybody, thanks so much, Scott Martin. Thank you very much for coming in. We'll see you all tomorrow. We might have a show in the morning. We'll let you know. 12 o'clock on for the kickoff for the watch along. As I say, with the 12:30, the match kicks off. So pre-match, half-time analysis, and post-match reaction with the full gang about 5 minutes after the final whistle. Take care, enjoy your Friday night, and I'll see you back here at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Goodbye now.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.